I'm in love with Jesus. I'm in love with my family, my friends, the business that I run, and just life in general. I'm a Texas girl. I was born and raised here, have an amazing Christian family, wonderful parents, 3 younger brothers, and now I'm married to the most amazing man I know. Been married for almost 12 years, and I have 2 boys, Nathaniel, who's 8, and Walker, who's 6. I want to tell you a quick funny story just to kind of break the ice about how I love Texas so very much. My husband was in the Air Force for 21 years, and he retired back in 2008. Our oldest son was born in 2007, and we were still living in Las Vegas. And I was really upset that I was going to have my first child, and he wasn't going to be in Texas. So I was raised on a ranch, and I asked my dad to please bring me some Texas soil from our ranch. He put it in a bag, brought it to Vegas, and I made the doctor stand on the bag before my child was born. I kid you not, I still have the soil. It's in his room. That's how much I love this place. So, that's just a little story, a little tidbit. It has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk to you about today. You know, being a wife and a mom was actually my dream for my life. Like all through childhood, college, anytime anybody asked me what I wanted to do, I want to be a wife and a mom. That's all I want to do. That's what I'm born to do. That's what I'm here for. That's what I want. And I had a plan. I was going to get married at 21, have my first baby at 25, and life was going to be just awesome. Well, that wasn't exactly how the plan happened. I didn't get married till 29, and I had my first child at 32 and my second child at 34. God's plans didn't quite match up with mine. And I'm so thankful for that, because he truly, truly knows best. So since 2004, I've been living my dream. I've been in that role, been privileged enough to be a stay-at-home mom, loving life, loving my family, and thriving there. Now, in 2013, I started feeling a yearning for more. And I'll be honest with you, I felt guilty about that. I felt selfish, because here I was, God gave me my dream that I'd wanted forever. He blessed me with this amazing family. How could I possibly want more? Who in the world did I think I was? And so I struggled a lot with that. And I didn't know what more was. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what that would mean for me. But I felt like there was a potential that I wasn't living up to. And so I toyed around with the idea of, well, do I go back to work? What do I do? And quite frankly, I wasn't willing to do certain things to go back to work or to, explore a different calling. Because staying at home with my children was my #1 priority. I was privileged enough to be able to do that, and I was not going to give that up. So when it came to the thought of, what am I going to do? What else could I do? What more can I offer? I had a checklist. I'm not leaving the house. I do not want a boss. I want to work my own hours. I mean, that's not going to exist. That does not exist. How could I possibly, that's like a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. Well, funny thing, it does exist. And I found it. And it took me a while to do it, but when I did, it was just like this whole new world for me. So in 2013, I decided to throw fear aside, so I thought, and go for it. And I became an online health and fitness coach through Beachbody, where I could run my own business, be my own boss, work when I wanted to, stay at home with my children, and honor my top priority, which was my family. And I will tell you that there was this amazing passion that was unleashed inside of me when I began that journey that I did not know was there. My love for other people, my passion for being able to help, especially women, find their best version, get rid of the excuses and fears, and achieve the goals that they've been wanting to achieve in their life for so long. Whether it was weight loss or nutrition or just loving themselves from the inside out, this business has allowed me to explore that in so many ways I never ever imagined. I didn't see it as an option or a possibility when I decided to start a business, because honestly, that was just what it was going to be. a business, a way for me to add to our financial fitness as a family, kind of fill my time a little bit, but still, do the mom thing for the most part. But it was so much more than that, and it continues to be. I've been so blessed by friendships that I never would have had. Thank you, social media, because social media allows me to meet people in Colorado, California, New York, all over the place, and work with these women and help them, and I've never met them in person. So it is it's a blessing, and it's an absolute gift, and I wouldn't trade a second of it. But here's where I'm about to get really real. And before I do, actually, I want to explain a little bit about what my business involves. So I named my business Progress Matters. And I don't even know how that came to me, quite frankly, but one day it just kind of stuck. Because I believe in our life, no matter what it is, if it's motherhood, marriage, friendships, our health, our fitness, a business, whatever it is, every single step we take matters, and it is progress, one step at a time, right? So I found that name, I was like, this is it, this is what it's gonna be. And as a health and fitness coach, like I kind of said, I work with women. I offer accountability online where we do nutrition and meal planning and recipes, and we motivate each other in fitness. I sell workout programs that people can do at home, and I sell a meal replacement shake that people drink once a day. And all of it is combined with helping people find their true self. And the thing I love about that is I'm not just a salesperson. I share my story. I'm real. I share my struggles. I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together all the time. I fall off track a lot. And it's not supposed to be a perfect world. But together, when we love each other and we truly love each person for who they are and what they're trying to achieve, it can be absolutely magical. So this is the part where I'm going to get a little real with you. I found this passion, right? And I was all in. I was like so excited about what I was doing and so laser focused on it, to the point where I didn't really know how to balance the family and the work. And the other thing about it was, because this is social media based, you can do it all the time. People can get a hold of you all the time. You can feel like you have to be plugged in every second of every single day. And I'm gonna be really honest, I felt that way. I felt like, because it was my own business, that if I didn't work every day in some form or fashion, it was gonna blow up. It was going to go away. And it was my responsibility to be present and be available. Well, here's what happened. By doing that, I sacrificed my family to the point where, we didn't go like completely off the rails, but I wasn't as present as I should be. I wasn't focused when it was family time. When my kids would come home from school, it'd be like, yeah, hi honey, good to see you, I hope you had a good day, I'm answering a message, I'll be done in a minute. Instead of, hi sweetheart, how was your day today? What happened at school today? Tell me about it. And it was really easy to fall into that trap, right? Because I really thought, I'll just sacrifice this now, and then eventually I'm gonna have this thriving business, and it's gonna all be worth it. So God had been whispering at me for quite a while to wake up and to get a grip on how to take control of this and not let it be so all-consuming. And I will tell you, my husband is an absolute saint, because we've had multiple conversations about balance, and I've tried different things and worked the schedule different ways, but I always kept letting it creep back in when I'm supposed to be focused on the family. And this is a pretty new revelation for me, which is why it's amazing that I'm sharing this with you today, because Jody asked me to speak back in January, and I've been thinking this whole time, what am I going to talk about? I had it all figured out, and 3 weeks ago, God threw this testimony at me in a way that it absolutely is what I'm supposed to share with you today. So he started whispering, I wasn't listening. And he found not one, but 3 different ways to completely grab me by the face and say, Christy, I'm talking to you. You need to listen to me. So the first way that he got my attention, I've been doing a Bible study through a local group in Argyle, a bunch of friends, and we're doing 7 by Jen Hatmaker. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that. Jen Hatmaker is an amazing writer. Her husband's a preacher in Austin. She's also written a book called For the Love, but her Bible study is called 7. And one of the weeks in the Bible study, I think it was week 3, is about social media. Jen also has her own business. She does a lot of stuff online, emails, Facebook, you name it, that's what she does. It's so in line with what I do. And in this lesson, she talks about how she had to realize she doesn't have to be plugged in all the time. Her business isn't going to blow up if she doesn't answer that message immediately. So that was God's first way, like, hey, you know, she's figured out she didn't have to do this. She was wrong. It doesn't have to be every day all the time. Okay, that was number 1. The second one, I listen to audiobooks all the time. I am not a good sit down and read person. I just never have been. So audiobooks are my new love. I have them plugged in all the time. Car, when I'm doing dishes, whatever. Like it's always in my head. And I was listening to a book called Make It Happen by Laura Casey. And lo and behold, she owns her own business. She's sharing the exact same thing, social media, being plugged in all the time, feeling like you can't let go of it because it's going to blow up. And so I'm like, all right, Lord, okay, I'm hearing you. And then the third thing, I listen to podcasts sometimes also. And my sister-in-law back in January had told me about a podcast by a guy named Andy Stanley, who is a preacher. And I just literally randomly one morning, I'm getting ready in my bathroom and I pop on his podcast and it's called Breathing Room. And his very first lesson is about social media and you're owning your own business and being able to let go and let God do it, right? And I stood in my bathroom that morning and I was like, all right, God. I hear you loud and clear. I mean, I literally, y'all, he was screaming at me. And I finally got the message. And so what did I do about that? I made instant changes. Because what it really meant to me and what it showed me is that I really was afraid. You know, I told you a second ago that when I started my business, I threw fear to the wayside and I was good. I did not throw fear away. The last 3 years, I have operated my business out of fear of losing it instead of saying, you know what, God, I am going to trust you. I wasn't trusting him. And when he put it in that perspective for me, there was no turning back. Change had to be made. It was not an option. So I sat down and I was like, okay, what are some things I can do? Number 1, I'm going to turn off every single notification that I can possibly get on my phone, except for text messages, because we don't answer our home phone, so the family has to be able to get a hold of me. But I turned off Facebook notifications, Instagram notifications. I don't get emails anymore from Facebook. And for those of you that know, it can be all-consuming, all over the place, all the time, notifications popping up on your phone ridiculously. Like my phone blew up constantly. And the minute that I did that, one small change, it was like, I can breathe. I can go to that when I want to. I don't have to go to that just because that message popped up on my phone. They can wait. It can wait. So it totally took that urgency and took it away. And that was so small, right? The other things I did, my kids are all both in school. My youngest is in kindergarten, so they are now gone from 7 in the morning until 3 p.m. Those are my work hours. 7 in the morning till 3 p.m. Now, does that mean I don't do grocery shopping and I don't go to lunch occasionally and I don't have other things I have to do? Of course not. I also fit that stuff in during that time. When those boys walk through the door at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the phone's down and I'm all theirs. And it makes me cry because it has changed. This has been 3 weeks. This has been in practice for 3 weeks. And I cannot tell you the nonverbals and the difference it has made already in 3 weeks. My kids and I have always been close. I love them, they know it. But this change and showing them, hey, you matter and you are way more important than anything that this phone is telling me or anything that I have on this laptop. So that is my commitment to them. 3 p.m., work is done. Now what I used to do is at 8 p.m., once they're in bed, I would pop back on if I needed to see what else I might need to tend to. I don't do that anymore. My work ends at 3, and it doesn't start again until 7 a.m. the next morning. Because the other person that I have to honor is my husband, right? And we need that time. We might just be sitting and watching TV, but I can tell you, before this transition, I would sit and watch that show, and I'd be thinking, I really need to be in there doing this or answering that email, or I could really be working on this training. I was not present. I was not giving him my all. And so now that is done. The other big change that I made, I don't work on the weekends. And I'm going to tell y'all, that was really hard for me to say out loud, because there's downtime on the weekends. Sometimes it's easy to pop in my room for an hour or two and do a little bit of work. But I realized I was not relaxing, ever. I wasn't just letting down. And so 3 o'clock Friday afternoon till Monday morning at 7, business is shut down. So what has this done for me? It has allowed me to breathe. It has allowed me to trust Jesus and allow it to happen how it's supposed to. I'm laying my business at his feet, and I'm laying my family at his feet, and whatever is meant to be, I know will be. He's given me a voice in this business through this walk for him that I've never had before. I've been a very strong Christian since I was 6, but I've never had the availability to share his love and his word and be a testimony of him like I have been given with this, okay? You know, so my new motto is faith over fear. All the time, no matter what it is. I don't know how many of you can relate. You know, how many of you have fear that's holding you back from just letting it go? Whether it's about your kids or your job or your marriage or some family situation. How many of you are holding on to it because you're just so afraid, and maybe you don't even realize it's fear like I didn't realize. If we can let that go and give that fear away and just have faith in him, he will make amazing things happen. He will allow us to rest, trust, and flourish in ways that we never thought humanly possible. And that is my message to you today. I'm so on fire about it. I feel so blessed to have been walked through this journey, to have God talk to me like that, to use the whole situation of my business and this transformation as a way that I can share with others and be an example that, hey, we don't have to do it all the time. It's going to be fine. It's going to be absolutely fine. So I just want to say thank you for having me. I pray that this message blesses you in some way, whatever it is in your life that it might have touched, and it's been an absolute honor.